Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Dev with Excel. Alright, so in this video, we are going to be solving exercise 2.12. In our previous video, we solved exercise 2.11, which is this. So in this exercise, we were expected to store the initial state of the application directly in the db.json file which we created, right? And we ensured that we could actually return the list of people going to that endpoint, this endpoint here, that's coming from the server, right? Okay, now coming to this video, exercise 2.12, it says currently the numbers that are added to the phone book are not saved to a backend server. Fix this situation. All right, so here we want to ensure that any name that is added through the front end is being saved to the backend server. Let's see how to implement that. All right, so here is the current working code for this video, right? So this is step 7, which is the exercise 2.12. As it is now, we are here to implement the exercise, right? So let's go to a new tab and then let's load the React app. Okay, so currently this is what we have for the React app, right? And then if we try to add a name, let's say we have a name called Dan B with a number 1, 2, 3. Let's click on add. All right, so this shows up here, right? Let's go to the db.json to confirm if it shows up there. There's nothing added to the database, right? Okay, so let's fix this. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to ensure that anything or any name we pass in here and then any number we also pass in here, and then click on the add button, get saved to the database, and then get added here, such that when we refresh this, Dan B 1, 2, 3, which is the name and the number, does not leave this place. But here now, when we refresh this page, we are going to see that this input is going to go. Let's refresh. So we can see that we no longer have Dan B1, 2, 3. That's because it was never saved to the database. So how do we fix this? We come to the app.jsx. Currently, we already have Axios imported because it's already installed, right? So here, what we can do is underneath this part here, we use axios to post the data we'll be passing in from this front end. So we say axios.post. And what are we trying to post? Post here is going to accept two parameters. That's a URL, that's the endpoint, and also the new object that is going to be passed here, which is this, which is being represented on the front end by this name and number input, right? So here we are going to be putting a URL, which is the endpoint that is connected through the server. So let's just come here and copy it. So this is the endpoint we need, and then we come here and then we paste it. Then the next thing we want to do is we are going to add this object here. So we simply just copy it from here and then paste it here. And then we use the then. Now then returns a promise. So we are going to pass in response and something like this. So let's console what the response is. Console log response. Let's comment this and then let's save this file. All right, now let's go to the database. Let's click on this, and that's a db.json. Rather, it's being used here as a database, right? But it's not really exactly database, right? But it's being used here as a database. All right, so let's try to add Dan B once again. Dan B 1, 2, 3. Let's click on add. So here now we can see that we have Dan B added in the db.json. That means that if we refresh this, the data here, the front end should be able to get the data from this db.json. Let's refresh this. So we have done B123 here, right? But let's fix something here. We are getting the ID directly from the code, from this code which we wrote here. Here we said ID persons dot length dot one. But now let's allow the database itself to handle the ID for us. So we come here and then we comment it. Let's try to add another name. Let's call it, okay, let's say we have river bird. Then let's say 12345. Let's add this and see if it gets added to the db.json. Okay, here, so we have river bird 12345, and here we can see that we've been able to get an ID that was not input by us, right? So this is more like an automatic way to add the ID, right? So this works well. Let's refresh this front end. Now this is working very well because we've been able to we make sure that the front end is running as well as the server, right? So here we just did npm run server. Make sure you do npm run server, else you won't be able to get these files returned. Okay, so what I mean is this: when I kill this process here, let's kill it here and let's refresh, we won't be getting any numbers returned, right? Also, when we copy the endpoints here, let's try to paste these endpoints on a new tab in our browser. Then let's run it. We can see there's nothing coming up, right? Because we actually killed the server here. Now let's launch the server again using npm run server. Then I'll simply just close this. Let this run. Okay, so it's currently running now. Let's come to this place. Let's refresh. This should come up now. This is up, right? And then when we go to the front end also, let's refresh the front end. So here we can see the data also being rendered through the front end, right? So the next thing we want to do is we want to be very sure that our headers contain the data that are passed correctly. So going to the developers tool, we want to be very sure. Let's refresh this. Okay, so here now we have persons. Let's just click on these persons and see. So we can see that we have these endpoints here, right? We have a 200. Okay, we also have a get here, right? Now let's pass in another data again. Let's call this blue gene. Then let's give it 987 as its number. 987. Let's add this. All right, so here now we have persons here, right? Let's click on this person. We can see here now that we have a post request, right? So this is a post request 201 created from this endpoint. So our application is working fine. Let's see what next we need to do. Let's go back to the instruction. Okay, so at this point, what we want to do next is we want to ensure that this data is being saved to the set persons and the set filtered functions that update the persons and the filtered persons states, right? So that's the next thing we want to do. And how can we do that? That's very simple. We simply just, let's put this into this axios post. So let's just take it up and then let's uncomment them. So we are going to remove this name object and this name object. We simply just copy response and we paste it here. Oh no, let's copy response properly and we paste it here. So this becomes response.data because we want to return, or we want to get the data from the response, right? Also, we do the same thing here and then we say dot data. So let's save this and everything should work fine, right? Okay, so Let's try this once more. Let's try to put in another data. Let's refresh this first, and then let's call this green blue. Don't mind me, sorry, please. I am just lost of names right now. So let's use numbers 5, 6, 7, and then let's click on add. So this adds green, blue, 567 to the browser, to the front end, and also we are expected to have it added to the db.json. All right, so we can see here this works fine, and also we have an automatic ID that is being created for us. All right, so with this, we've come to the end of this video, and I hope it's made sense, right? Okay, all right, so with this, I'll simply just say have a nice time, keep coding, and see you in the next video. Bye.